So on Tuesday night's video, I was pretty certain two things were going to come true. One card under 1,000 and one card over 3,000. Neither of those things came true, but let's close out another week in Project 70. But I'm curious, how many cards are on this card right now for Nolan Ryan? But it is going to sell quite well. The question though is, will it get over 3,000 copies? So while that Toy Tokyo Shohei Ohtani did not cross that 3,000 mark, it is right now the highest printed card at over 2.3K. The second best printed card is over 500 cards behind it. So a very, very strong showing with that Ohtani by Toy Tokyo. But welcome to episode number 42 of the Project 70 show. My name is Chris, otherwise I'm on Twitter and Instagram is at CRT_Sportscards. And if you want to take this conversation to the next level, join us on Discord. The community there continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's great to hear and read all of the excitement around the cards that release every single day and the set as a whole. The server link is below in the comments, but it's simple, CRT Sportscards. Jump on there and join us on Discord. And also this weekend, it's another Sunday upcoming, which means more live pricing. Will that Ohtani by Quicks hold on to the number one spot, or will it go back to number two behind the Acuna by Alex Pardee? I have not looked at pricing all week long, so Sunday morning is going to be a surprise for me. So check out the website, crtsportscards.com, for the latest pricing on Sunday morning. And also on a complete side note, but relevant for every website user, I am in these really exploratory stages right now of having someone completely redesign the website. I've got a couple bids out there to redesign the whole front page, so I'm looking forward to revamping the entire site to make it as useful and as user-friendly as possible, because I have some competition this year out there for Project 70 websites, and that's great to see, so I have to step up my game. But the question here is this. My goal right now is to have a fresh and new updated website by this time in July, but will we have seen another Mike Trout card by then in Project 70? We have now officially gone over 100 cards in the set, a full 4 weeks without seeing Mike Trout, and it's still shocking to me that when Topps got all of the cards released, or the artist list, that they didn't better space out Mike Trout. I am just shocked that Lauren Taylor's Mike Trout is the last one that we've seen back at card 159. So will my new website be live by the next Mike Trout, or will Mike Trout beat me to the punch? We'll have to wait and find out and see what happens. But now, what has happened in the here and now since you and I last spoke on Tuesday night in this set? Number one, the most important thing is just from a numerical perspective, we have now seen over 25% of the cards. I'm going to wait until we see the print runs from this entire week before I really break down the first quarter of the set, so that will be coming on Tuesday night's episode. But from a quick reaction perspective, what are my thoughts after seeing 25% of the cards, and maybe what are my concerns as we move forward in Project 70? I think number one, we have to get every team represented. To not have a single Colorado Rocky, that is, I think, a miss on Topps' part. Yes, we didn't want them dictating what players to use, but I thought we would have at least every team represented so far at this moment. Number two, yes, the disparity is quite large, but we expected that with Dodgers, Yankees. It is going to be interesting to see where the next 25% go, if more artists have pulled back from certain players or certain teams because of that. But ultimately, I think it is a success. Yes, there have been cards that printed under 1,000. We possibly are going to get another card under 1,000 this week, with Fucci releasing his Sparky Anderson in a Reds uniform. Look, if you're a fan of Fucci, you're going to buy this card. If you're not going to pick up this card. But I think this is our latest candidate right now for card printing under 1,000. But while I do say it is a success right now, I am focused on two things currently as we move through the dog days of the summer. And number one, it's exactly that. It is the summer. More live sports are going to be happening. More things are going to be happening outdoors, outside. People's eyes get diverted. I really, really hope Topps has some sort of Project 70 presence at the National. And by the way, if you're going to the National, I'll be there all 5 days. So I'm looking forward to meeting as many people as possible and talk and discuss around Project 70. But Topps has to do something with this set at the National, the largest convention after the sports card world just kind of exploded. But number two, we have to get more players. We are right now over 110 players, and when I spoke to Jeff around with Topps months ago, they were talking 100, 150 players. If we start to see the same 100 players repeated every 4 weeks, that is going to be a real big challenge for this set. So I really hope we start to see that player count get to 150, 160, 170. I don't know if we're going to get to 200 players in the set, but we got to get more variety, because certain days of the week right now, when we see the same 4 players over and over again, I understand why people turn the set off. But what you can't turn off right now is what Alex Pardee is doing in Project 70. The number one selling artist, nearly 70,000 base cards sold, just released his 6th card in the set. We have Dennis Eckersley, a new player, a new fresh veteran to the set. The question though with this card is, will Alex Pardee put another card in the top 10? Now, if he does this though, that means his Willie Mays will drop from the top 10. So there's no way, mathematically speaking, unless he sells exactly 9,292 copies of that Eckersley, will he have all of his cards in the top 10. But I'm really curious, how many cards is this card going to sell? Will this card get over 10,000? It looks like right now the press for this card, the real Twitter communication about it, is better than the Willie Mays. And I'm also seeing a lot of people that I follow on Twitter really, who are maybe not big Project 70 fans, have a liking to this card. So will this card top Willie Mays at 9,292? So while that Dennis Eckersley by Alex Pardee will be the number one seller this week in the set, and by the way, if it is not, that is another story altogether, but definitely that card is going to lead the way. We've got Fernando Tatis by Soulfly. We've got Ben Baller releasing another Bo Jackson, fresh off the recent performance of his Fernando Tatis, which sold over 14,000 copies. We also have Lauren Taylor releasing her 6th card. We have Tony Gwynn. But we also do have 3 Yankees that got released. And I will tell you right now, all of those Yankee cards, even if you are tired of seeing New York Yankee cards, those, in my opinion, were the 3 best cards released this week. But just from a number, let's take a guess here. I want to say right now that Ben Baller, Bo Jackson, even though I think Bo Jackson is played out from a print run perspective, I really think Ben Baller is going to try to prove something here, that he can sell a lot of product with Bo Jackson. And also that card fits very well with his 2020 Topps Chrome card. So I could see buyers who are big fans of that Chrome set going out and picking up this Ben Baller Bo Jackson. And look, it's got Ben Baller trademark all over it. So look, if this card sells 4,000 to 5,000, it's not really a surprise. He does, though, have to follow up that 14,000 Tatis with a big number. So we will see where this number lands. And also, I hope I'm not alone. When I first saw that Bo Jackson, I thought it was Michael Jordan. And I'm like, how did Topps and Ben Baller pull this off? But no, it was Bo Jackson. But now, speaking about Michael Jordan, if you saw that Fernando Tatis by Soulfly and thought Michael Jordan, you are not wrong, but it is not a direct reference to Michael Jordan, although it is in an indirect way. That is a celebration pose from Tatis in a game. So a very interesting take here with this card. You could see basketball collectors want this card if they like Tatis. Tatis, of course, still is doing an amazing job on the field of performance, unlike our star rookie up here in Seattle, but hopefully he does kick out of his funk here pretty soon. But the big question here with this card is his last release, the one by Undefeated, came in at 4,364. That is the lowest printed Tatis. Will this card fall under that? Will this be the first sub 4K Tatis, or will this card be in maybe the 5 to 6 range? We will have to find out here in the next few days. And so while we're in San Diego talking about Soulfly's Tatis, we might as well cover Lauren Taylor's Tony Gwynn. But here is what makes me smile ear to ear at this moment in Project 70. The simple fact that Lauren Taylor is the 2nd highest printed artist in the set, beating out right now Ben Baller, the man who single-handedly crushed every single artist in Project 2020 last year. Lauren Taylor is beating him by just about 800 cards. So if this Tony Gwynn does sell very well, she will maintain her lead over Ben Baller. But if Baller outsells by a couple of thousand copies, that means Ben Baller will move into the number 2 slot from top performing artist. Alex Pardee is untouchable at this moment, but the race right now is for 2nd and 3rd. So if you're a Lauren Taylor fan, you have to buy this Tony Gwynn card. So while Lauren Taylor and Ben Baller really fight it out for the 2nd and 3rd spot in the artist ranking, who is number 4 right now on that list? Number 4 is being held by Ermsey, and he's just about 4,000 cards behind those two for the 3rd spot. And this week, he releases Mookie Betts. And of course, the kerfuffle this morning on Twitter was that can't be a Dodger card. No, that is Mookie Betts in a Red Sox. That is a Red Sox card. Although you can make the argument by using the style of card of the year he did, 1981 Topps, and the moving hat, meaning he's swatting away the Red Sox, because now he is a proud Los Angeles Dodger. I still, as a baseball fan, view Mookie Betts in the lens of a Red Sox player, but I know there are many Dodger fans out there saying just let Mookie Betts write some history and he will forever be known as a Los Angeles Dodger. So you can make the argument this card goes both ways. For me, he's a Red Sox, but for Dodger fans, it is a Dodger card. We will see, though, how it sells, and can Ermsey make it to the top 3 after this week. So while we can sit here and argue how much a Topps package weighs, if I hit a foil or not, or if Mookie Betts is a Dodger or a Red Sox, this next player will forever be a Los Angeles Dodger. And I don't even care if you're not even a Dodger fan, but we have Clayton Kershaw being released by Sophia Chang. This card, just from a style perspective, does look very similar to the recent Clayton Kershaw by Mr. Cartoon. And so the question about this card from a print run perspective is how will it print? Clayton Kershaw is averaging just over 2.7K on his releases, and Sophia Chang is averaging over 3.1. So will this card be over both of their averages? Will this card sell over 3,000? Or will this card fall closer to around 2.5? Or will that Shohei Ohtani by Toy Tokyo beat out this Clayton Kershaw? And so while a majority of those previous artists are going to fall in the top half right now of Project 70, when it comes to their performance on the print run scale, this next artist is towards the bottom, and I'm going to tell you this every single day until we go through Project 2025 and 2034. You should not sleep on Old Man Allen. His cards are very, very unique, and he continues to stretch out his range of what he's presenting us this year in Project 70. And this time he releases Satchel Paige in an MLB uniform, the Cleveland Indians. So it's great to see Satchel Paige get another card in the set. And by reading the blowout forums, by reading Twitter, a lot of people were surprised this card was made by Old Man Allen. So stop sleeping on Old Man Allen. Pick up his cards. Follow him on Instagram. You're about to learn a couple of new things around art. And if it felt like this week in Project 70 we got a lot of East Coast, West Coast love, we in fact did. We also had Snoop Dogg release his Willie Mays. And so this is also an artist, and you want to call Snoop Dogg an artist of many different formats here. I really thought he would be the top selling artist in the set just because of who he was, not because of maybe his artwork being the absolute best. His artwork doesn't really resonate with me. And I'll be very honest, when I first saw this card, I thought it was a Mr. Cartoon card because of the lettering at the bottom. This is a cool card because Willie Mays is smiling, but it's going to be interesting to see, will this card sell more like Snoop Dogg, who is number 11 right now on that rank list, or will it sell more like Mr. Cartoon? He's a little bit farther down on that list. But now my 3 favorite cards this week were all from one team. And no, I have not checked my Mariners card and my Mariners team fandom at the door. They are all New York Yankee cards, and I understand the Yankee team maybe played out a little bit, but these 3 cards from the Yankees were just utterly fantastic. And number 1, we also got a card that I've been looking for over 16 months. We had Joshua Vides finally release a black and white, a pure black and white card that is true to what he does under the name Reality 2 Idea. This is an utterly fantastic card, and it's something that I wanted to see ever since the beginning of Project 2020. So I think everybody should own this card, and not only for the fact that it is Joshua Vides' best work over the past year and a half, but it was the very first time we saw a card get released of Lou Gehrig on the new baseball holiday called Lou Gehrig Day. This is just great to see all around, and it still boggles my mind everything that Lou Gehrig accomplished in his life, and he passed away at 37. I'll be 39 in a month, and I cannot imagine doing everything he did by just the age of 37. And you really have to ask yourself, how does Joshua Vides release a Lou Gehrig card on Lou Gehrig Day, and also was able to be the very, very first artist to release a Mickey Mantle card after Topps announced that Mickey Mantle was back in the Topps family. But we also had a brand new Mickey Mantle card entered into Project 70, and I'm probably going to say right now, and I know I do this a lot, but this card is probably the best Mickey Mantle right now on the block in the set, and this one is courtesy of Cess. There are a lot of things going on this way. You have the clouds, you have the train, you have Cess's name, you have Yankee Stadium, you've got Mickey Mantle in the foreground. Number one, the reason why this card works is the color scheme is just perfect for this card. Everything works together. You can get biblical if you want with this card. The heavens opening up and there is Mickey Mantle. But I will tell you right now, just from a display perspective, from a visual perspective, this card scores so many points. So while that Gehrig and that Mantle were great from a visual perspective, the card that hit home to me the most from an emotional perspective is going to be the Jonas Never Babe Ruth. And yes, when you see this card, what movie do you immediately think about? You think about The Sandlot, but that is not what I thought about when I saw this card, and it's because Jonas Never used a young and impressionable Babe Ruth for the artwork on this card. And when I saw this card, I immediately thought back to my favorite baseball movie, which is Field of Dreams, and the scene at the end when Kevin Costner gets to play catch with his father. And the one thing that none of us will ever be able to do is meet our parents before we were born. And to be able to really meet my father before I was born would just be an amazing experience. And Kevin Costner gets that sort of honor in Field of Dreams. And when you take a look at this Babe Ruth, this is a young Babe Ruth. This is a player that we really don't see. When we think about Babe Ruth in 2020, 2019, 2021, you think of the old Babe Ruth. Everybody does an older take on him, how he looked later in his career. But this is a rookie Babe Ruth. This is a Babe Ruth who is at the beginning of his career. And if we just could meet and think and see what Babe Black was at the beginning of his career, that would just be an amazing experience. We can never time travel, but to sit and look at a piece of artwork and think about what would have been like to see Babe Ruth as a rookie, it must have just been an incredible experience. So for me, this touches home on a personal and an emotional level because of the fact that Jonas Never used a young Babe Ruth versus an older Babe Ruth. With that, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you back on Tuesday night for episode number 43 of the Project 70 Show.